A lot of times I'll just envision, as you and I are talking here today, I may envision that I'm here talking with God, and how am I supposed to address this issue?
Okay. Realize Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He is the same for you right now. So let's pray. Let's call on his name and let him do the rest for you. Let's pray.
International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Good evening and welcome to Today on One. I'm Isai Sipunga. In the news tonight, school talk show tackles bullying and self-worth. Intra-health malfeasance allegations persist. Disability actor hosts community play. GIZ startup and women in agriculture collaborate on agribusiness bootcamp. And Roundup, Business on One, Comments Corner, Sports and the weather. First up, Soda Consultancy launched the first episode of the school talk show, STS, under the theme Self-Worth and Anti-Bullying. The STS project, launched at the Yanmoor Secondary School, was attended by Honorable Yvonne Dowsup, Children Parliament Deputy Chair, Happy Do Project representatives and boys clubs from the 7 Project School in Windhoek.
It's not necessarily somebody who just out of the blue becomes a bully. I mean, nobody just wants to be a bully. I personally believe that this is something that comes from experience, and it's a cycle that keeps going on again and again. What happens in the cycle is that one person is bullied by the other, and they shield themselves against this vulnerability in a sense that they do not want anybody to hurt them, and they don't realize that they actually become the bully.
When somebody bullies you verbally or physically, it doesn't matter. When somebody bullies you, you start to believe the words that they are using. If they say, for example, no, you never amount to anything, you are useless, you start to believe that later, and you will like, wait, I actually believe it. I am nothing, I am no one, you know. And so self-worth and self-esteem do have a link because a bully can lower your self-esteem. Because later you won't start believing in yourself, you won't start accepting yourself for who you are.
When somebody mocks you or teases you because of the way you look and the way you are made, it tends to be bullying, because then they are bullying you. And then your self-esteem and your self-worth will be lowered. And that's when you start putting yourself in a certain shell because you are now afraid of what people think about you. So I just wanted to say this: respect yourself for how you look and how you are made, because as the people were saying here, you are unique. So no matter how you look and how you are made, I just want to say that you are perfect.
It has everything to do with the perpetrator, because I think as well they project their insecurities and their own life experiences onto other people. The more confident you are, the less likely you are to be bullied. Because the reason I'm saying this is because bullies feed off of like the weaknesses. So if these teenagers are vulnerable, it will feed their egos and they will continue bullying. Whereas if you are confident and if you show them that you are not ready for me, I feel as though it would end.
Forming part of the We Care project, which aims to provide practical tools of self-awareness, self-discipline, leadership skills, and character building to help school-going youth to navigate through their own lives towards making appropriate daily choices. The STS focused on bullying in schools and self-worth. The Minister of Justice at the event said that growing up as a child, she too was bullied and would love to encourage the learners never to lose their self-worth and always work with their heads held high, also urging them to stop sharing personal information on social media and indecent content to other people, as this leads to cyberbullying.
All young people are in danger of being bullied at some point during their adolescence, but there are certain populations at greater risk. Depending on the environment, some groups such as youth who are perceived as lesbian, gay, bisexual or transgender, youth with disabilities, and socially isolated youth that Happy Do talks about maybe are more likely to be bullied because they are perceived as different. But we must remember, different is good. It invokes change and it often intimidates weak opponents. Never fear being different. Many social media platforms allow users to report undesired accounts to them. Report the bullying. Check your privacy settings, number 5. Select who you like to engage with and who is not welcome. It is your user account. You are in control and not the cyberbully or even a bullying person. Take charge of your life. Currently, under the Child Care and Protection Act, there is a section that deals with bullying of children, particularly when it comes to sexually exploitative content. This crime is being, in respect of children, anyone below the age of 18, it is criminalized. You could be charged and fined $50,000 Namibian or 10 years in prison.
The We Care project, since its launch in February 2021, has been rolled out to 11 schools within 4 regions, with a collection of over 5,000 sanitary pads and a reach of about 60% of girls at these project schools.
Nothing is too good for my daughter. Now here's the deal, Nambi. There's no playing around with other boys before your wedding. Do you understand me? It's the most important day of your life.
Nambi, baby, you have a face like a beautiful person. I got you this Virgin Mary necklace to protect your innocence.
Stupid man. We have loved each other since high school, and now you want to turn your back on me? All the plans we made, you just throw them away? And you want Nambi now? When I've always been there for you, Ziwa, do you understand? And she doesn't even love you. I wasted my time on someone like you.
Don't be like that, Jalia.
Get ready to enjoy Simba's sounds of flavor.
All the Simba flavors. Let's roll. Slice, smoke beef. Where nigga? Shaya chocolate. Shake it and mud.
Together we roar because Simba roars with flavor.
This is my favorite gear because it speaks for me and all my brothers. Nivea Men Black and White Deo. With 5 times Deo action to protect you and your favorite gear from stains. Try Nivea's #1 anti-stain deodorant. Nivea Men, it starts with you.
The RAM gender diversity movement has once again called out Intra-Health Namibia for allegedly continuously failing to fulfill its obligation of a $150 million US aid grant it was awarded in 2019 meant for capacity building of key community organizations in Namibia, noting that 3 benefiting organizations have been left in the dark since October last year.
4 of them, they died because of the fear of the clients. They passed on due to the fact that they couldn't go and get their medications because there are no means anymore, because Indra Health abandoned these clients that are stuck now with RAM at our office.
Founder of the RAM Gender Diversity Movement maintains that the delay of funding by Intra-Health has led to the death of 4 of the movement's clients after defaulting on treatment, as the organization does not have the means to support its clients. One of Intra-Health's directives of the grant is to increase demand for and access to comprehensive HIV prevention and treatment services and interventions for key populations.
The project started last year. In 2020, started last year in February there. So these clients, we have to recruit the staff that goes in the field. We have peer educators and we have case managers. The peers means that they are going to recruit their peers. So we make sure that we recruit the transgender people. The transgender people penetrate in the transgender community, and then we have gay people that we recruit the gay people. We have lesbian that recruited lesbian, to make sure that, because there's a lot of discrimination when they're going to these clinics. Yeah, so that's why most of the clients that are, now we have 643 days, face a lot of discrimination at the hospitals. That's why they have a safe place, they're able to come. So because RAM go and get the medication from the hospital and then bring to here, they feel safe because there's nobody discriminating them. So and some of these individuals, our key populations, they intend to stay away from the hospitals because of stigma, because of discrimination, even from the nurses, from the doctors. And then because it's very weird when transgender work in the hospital, this side is the client, the patients that are laughing, this side is the doctors. They were supposed to care for these people, but they are laughing them. So just why they don't go they stay away from the services. That's why we make sure that we do those ones that are tested positive, we put them on treatment. Those are tested negative, we put them on PrEP, and then we also put them on case management. Case management means that it's for the wrong round. We make sure that we follow up on these clients to make sure that the client will go back to the doctor. We took them to the doctor, we get the medication on time, and we also check up the well-being of the clients.
The movement, which was set to receive 11 million for the duration of 5 years, adds that it is now left in the dark and its operations have been halted.
When we start the project, each organization is having its own clients. So now these clients, we got a donor from USAID. When we got the donor from USAID, and then Intra-Health hosting the money as a prime and RAM as the sub. In order for us to cater for these clients, Intra-Health stopped to give money to RAM. And though these clients, we are not able to take them to the hospital, to the hospitals. There are those ones that are in the, they don't have means to go to the hospital, they don't have tax to go to the hospital, they don't have food, they don't have, all these clients now, they are stuck. And some of the medication that are here at our office, we don't have, again, also money to pay the driver to go and pick up these clients to come and get their medication here. And some of them, most of the clients, we try to call them, some of them, they are defaulted. So just we really, really appealing to USAID and PEF to come in so that they can intervene between RAM and Intra-Health so that we can able to continue with these clients. These clients now, we are talking about the life of individuals.
There has still been no effort to give comment on the matter from Intra-Health, whose other directives were to strengthen the capacity and sustainability of civil society and other key stakeholders, to advocate for and implement HIV activities for and by key populations, and strengthen data management and processes for planning, monitoring and quality assurance of key population programs.
can be tempted to become bitter and cynical. You're tempted. You're not there yet. Maar jy het besluit, man, die ding wat ek aangedoen is, gaan my verbitter, ek gaan my verbitter maak. So you feel to give yourself over to those emotions of becoming cynical and you can also be tempted to take revenge. Paulus sê, you have been grafted, julle is ingeënt in Christus. Wat Christus is, moet julle wees. Wat uit hierdie boom uitkom, ek is die ware wynstok, ek is eintlik die bron waaruit julle lewe. Dit moet in julle vrug wees. Julle moet smaak soos ek smaak, sê die Here. Kan ek 'n amen kry? Ek hou niks meer van julle terug nie. Julle is opgegradeer.
Remember the mission. Yeah. Revisualize the vision. Connect to the journey, start early. Step 1, step 2, next step. Restart at the beginning of what I'm feeling. The future we believe in, let's start dreaming. NAMIBIA. No matter what they say, we here to stay. So find believers just like you. Hand in hand, this is what we do. More steps, yeah, we get through. Let's go. Start again, you can. You connected to the world, yeah, we stand. Determined to move on hand in hand. Put the switch on, a new reform. Let's rise. Together we rise. MTC, make the connection.
Hello and welcome to the She Word, the show where we discuss trending topics amongst women across Africa. Girl. 7 years old. Do you know why you're here?
In 1997, I was filmed by an American news crew at the place I was being held. A shrine run by a priest dedicated to the worship of deities. I was labeled a Trikoshi, a wife of the gods, paying for a crime committed by a family member.
Okay, the purpose of sharing my story was to say, you know, you may have gone through something, a traumatic experience. You are still able to have life. You have life. You can live life. You can contribute to society, and that's what it should be about. It's not more. It's not really about like victimizing or because I honestly don't like watching it.
The National Theatre of Namibia, in collaboration with the Namibian National Association of the Deaf, are hosting a 3-day community play themed Surviving the Odds, with the intention to tackle issues affecting persons living with disability in the country.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
The play is aimed at raising awareness on issues affecting persons living with disabilities in various communities. It also portrays and highlights some of the challenges they face from the general public after more than 30 years of the country's independence. The stage play is developed through the National Theatre of Namibia and National Association of Deaf, together with 3 actors, while the National Arts Council is providing the funds for the performance.
Well, actually, it is a series of events that was funded by the National Arts Council of Namibia to collaborate. The Namibia National Association of the Deaf had written a proposal to the Arts Council to have projects to consider, artists with disabilities, and it was actually their brainchild, and then the NTN came on board in terms of providing the skills, the venues, and all of those things.
Actors living with disabilities are rarely casted to play characters with disabilities, and it will be interesting to see how Sarah Kapanda, Kumaretia Kato, and Nomatenya Hamakoto take center stage.
I'm more about raising awareness for people with disability. Like, people don't know what's going on with people that are disabled and how to treat them. So I was like, a show, community show, great, let's raise awareness.
The play is showcased over 3 days to the public in English, Afrikaans, and Namibian Sign Language. No booking is required for the performance, and space is limited due to COVID-19 regulations. Therefore, early attendance is encouraged. Entrance is free to the public.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
Agribusiness Bootcamp, a first of its kind between women in agriculture Namibia and Startup Namibia, aims to source for entrepreneurs or potential entrepreneurs who have innovative ideas for new services and new products in agriculture.
The bootcamp intends to support these entrepreneurs during their early stages of business through training on digital skills, business skills and urban farming. The two organizations who put together the bootcamp plan to extend it across the country and reach out to the wider masses.
Bootcamp is intended for new entrepreneurs in agribusiness or potential new entrepreneurs, and what we are looking for is innovative minds who have an idea of something that is new, either a very new product, a very new service in the market, with potential to scale by selling the service or the product online. So it's really targeted at this kind of people, so either startups who would like to do something for farmers, or farmers who would like to have something innovative to bring to the market and learn how entrepreneurial skills, digital skills can help them promote their service and sell the service and build a better service.
We're looking for participants that have really innovative and great business or agribusinesses, projects or ideas. So this was really established, or it came with the notion of agribusiness should be looked as an entrepreneurial skill. So we need to start looking at farming or agriculture as a business and not just a way of living. So that is why we came up with training people on the entrepreneurial skills of agribusiness. How do you market your agribusiness produce or your produce that you produce on your farm? How do you get a market for that? How do you set your prices for that? And then with the bootcamp, we are also trying to focus on hydroponics and urban farming. This also was initiated because we now see that a lot of youth or women farmers, access to land is a challenge for them, and urban farming and hydroponics will be a much better solution to get out of the land crisis.
Participants for the bootcamp are expected to pitch their agribusiness ideas on the 12th of October 2021 and will thoroughly complete their training by the 14th of October 2021. Upon graduation, they will be issued with certificates of participation.
One of the main things I've learned in this bootcamp was really how to market my product, because that was something that was really keeping me up. I was wondering how I'm going to go about it, what tools am I going to use, and what I was taught in this bootcamp is really going to help me go to my customers, how I'm going to approach them, what tools I'm going to use, because they gave us a lot of ideas how to make pamphlets, what websites to use, even if you don't really have a lot of funding, free websites. So it's things that really I could have really have used if I'd known about it before, and they really opened my eyes when it comes to that.
And I really like to encourage a lot of young women in Namibia to start attending the bootcamp, because you are gaining more information about it, and it's like you are getting it for free and you are getting more knowledge about it.
With this program, I've learned more about hydroponics and aquaponics. I'm also an entrepreneur with growing microgreens using hydroponics, but I had less information. But with this bootcamp, I've learned a lot about hydroponics as well as aquaponics, which I can use in my business.
I'm currently attending the Startup Namibia bootcamp for young agripreneurs, emerging agripreneurs, and this bootcamp has been such a good experience. First and foremost, the most important thing that I've learned is the importance of having accounting in your business, knowing digital marketing applications, how to capture your audience, how to sell your product. And yeah, no, it's been a really, really good experience.
The bootcamp, which started on the 27th of September, is expected to end next week, Thursday, the 14th of October, 2021.
experience and share. Hashtag freedom to play. The 2021 Online Women's Football Summit is here. Catch the live stream on One Africa TV's Facebook page at 2:30 p.m. on Friday, October 15th. Special speakers like Lolo Gorasep, Dina Shitula, Salome Iambo, and other international football stars. Be part of the free online summit and learn all about women's football. Go to One Africa's Facebook page for more details. Proudly brought to you by Frederick Norman Foundation and Global United FC Africa Foundation and PO. We love football. We love our planet.
Early this morning, woke up holding my head, hearing my heartbeat all night long. Shades of this motel keeping me in bed, reading the news, just trying to stay strong. I need to just get up, take a deep breath, keep it together, 'cause it's a beautiful day. Sun on my face, feeling okay. Don't let it get away. It's a beautiful day. Feel so proud, screaming out loud. It's a beautiful day. Feel so proud, screaming out loud. It's a beautiful day.
In other leading stories, at the occasion of the signing ceremony of the Memorandum of Agreement between the Road Fund Administration and the Namibian Police Force on the official handing over of the traffic law enforcement vehicles and equipment, the Executive Director of the Ministry of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security, Etienne Maritz, noted that the function of enforcing land orders, particularly traffic laws on national roads, is an enormous responsibility. Hence, the support, cooperation and solidarity of all stakeholders are key to their success. Maritz noted that the ministry is faced with stringent financial constraints, adding that in order to fulfill its executive mandate towards the realization of the roads-free accidents in Africa and the realization of the African Union Agenda 2063, this is an immense and notable contribution. These, he added, will enable the police to effectively and efficiently continue to carry out its function of traffic law enforcement across the country. Statistics during the 2019-2020 financial year indicate that a total of 14,242 road traffic collisions were recorded, with 381 fatalities, 1,046 serious injuries and 1,903 slight injuries. However, during the 2020-2021 financial year, there has been a decrease with 12,017 road traffic collisions, 303 fatalities, 1,061 serious injuries and 1,776 slight injuries. Maritz further stressed that in line with the ministry's stance on a zero tolerance on corruption, any form of misuse and abuse of the vehicles and equipment will not be tolerated. He therefore implores all commanders to oversee proper supervision and control over the use of these vehicles to ensure that they are only used for their intended purpose.
not be anything, he should be everything. Strength provider, the architect of every ring. Experience penny yells, see the face of God and live.
I pray to God for my enemies. Why you ready? Why you baby? Wanna do? Insta baby, Insta baby, Insta baby. Why you lying? Shake what your mama gave ya. Everybody move what your mama gave ya. Everybody shake what your mama gave ya. Everybody move, yeah, lost, fuck.
You are now watching the V10 Countdown.
Are you a CMAS member? Did you know that should you need medical treatment, you have access to quality private hospitalization, guaranteed specialist treatment in private hospitals across Namibia with Compliment Gap. Compliment Gap is a complimentary product for CMAS members only, which covers the shortfall between what CMAS pays and private hospitals charge. You and your family have more than 2 million in medical gap cover per year at a very affordable price. That's not all. You also have access to emergency evacuation within Namibia and $10 million international travel cover for those unforeseen events abroad. Take the financial burden off your shoulders. Invest in your family's health. SMS GAP to 999 555 and we'll contact you. Terms and conditions apply.
Prevent cramps with Fabufarm's new MVA Cramp Stop. Developed to bring fast and effective relief from cramps in athletes, active people and senior citizens. Manufactured in Namibia, Fabufarm's MVA Cramp Stop contains a carefully selected blend of vitamins and essential minerals to prevent cramps with a full month supply of capsules. It's Fabufarm's new MVA Cramp Stop, your #1 choice in cramp prevention. Now available at all leading pharmacies countrywide.
And in tonight's edition of Business on One, at least 4 incidences involving scams occurred in 4 regions, according to NAMPOL's latest crime report. Chief Inspector Eliphas Kuwinga urges businesses and banks to maintain extreme vigilance. At a builded outlet in Keetmanshoop, suspects pretending to be South African nationals looking to exchange their currency took off with 8,000 Namibia dollars. The 4 suspects, aged 63, 32, 23 and 16, were apprehended earlier this month. Police say the suspects did turn out to be South African nationals.
These days, scams are coming through. And these particular scams are targeting businesses, the banks, as well as individuals. From the police side, we only have to warn our members, public members, to be extra cautious, be vigilant at all times.
On October 4th, 2021, suspects pretending to be Spanish nationals took 20,000 Namibia dollars from a Nedbank exchange counter in Swakopmund. Police say the scammers told the tellers they needed 200 Namibia dollar notes to take to their country. Luinga says these sorts of scams happen in a matter of seconds.
You know, these things are happening very fast. One will never know that you are being scammed, you are targeted until after that. That is where you will realize that, no, my property has been robbed or has been taken. Recently, we noticed that number of suspects were arrested, successfully arrested, after they have attacked or after they have robbed a number of banks, business and individuals.
Another report states that a suspect stole a diamond necklace worth over 50,000 Namibia dollars from an arts and jewelry store in Swakopmund earlier this month. According to police, the 38-year-old Egyptian male was arrested days later. As the festive season draws near, Luinga urges the public to maintain a high level of vigilance.
Hi there, parents. Do you have primary school kids and want them to get extra quality supplementary lessons to up their grades? Then simply switch to One Africa TV's #LearnOn1, where your kids can get maths, English and science lessons every weekday from 9 to 11 a.m. with repeats from 2 to 4 p.m. And thanks to NMH's MyZone, these lessons are 100% Namibian. There's so much to learn with #LearnOn1. Invite learning in.
Time now for Comments Corner, your daily dose of comments from our social media pages. At a recent media engagement event in Windhoek, the Namibia Revenue Agency revealed that they will collect taxes from the informal sectors. NAMRA argues that the informal sector is a significant contributor to Namibia's GDP, noting that if not taxed, the government will lose a significant amount of revenue. Mabzala asks, what about the Chinese? Moses notes that you won't fight corruption if big mafias are involved, also asking whether the Chinese will be taxed. Ryan says the poor in Namibia will remain poor as the standards are too high. While Spora suggests to fight poverty and not the poor. And that's all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day, only on Today on One.
Oranje-Munt, established in 1936, from which point onwards CDM, now Namdeb Diamond Corporation, provided every service, the schooling, infrastructure and entertainment required for the people of the town. The winds of change is blowing over Oranje-Munt, which is no longer a closed town.
This ship was commandeered by King Charles III, and he actually sent a knight to Spain to go and fetch some money from investors, because they wanted to go and fetch some spices in India.
When we were kids, the mine delivered milk, bread, and black paper, black plastic bags for your rubbish, and cleaned your garden, did the maintenance of your house. You had furniture already installed in your house.
Castro Lumbu is standing by for today's sports update.
Welcome to Sports on One. I am your host, Castro Ulumbu. As the 2021 African Union Sports Council Region 5 Youth Games draw closer, Team Namibia has been finalized during the MTC Youth Games held last year in Rietfontein and will be leaving the country on the 2nd of December 2021. Today on One Sports recently caught up with the Chief Administrator of the Namibia Sports Commission to get an update on how preparations are going. Today on One Sports has more on this story. In an exclusive with Sports on One, Chief Administrator at the Namibia Sports Commission, Simata Muya, confirmed that Namibia will only be represented in 5 sport codes at this year's AUSC Region 5 Games set to take place in Maseru, Lesotho.
We had around about 9 sports codes. However, because of the COVID challenges this year, we decided that we are only going to send 5 sports codes. In these 5 sports codes, we are talking about athletics, but athletics, we have to put it both para-athletics and able bodies. We'll be sending a swimming team, we'll be sending boxing, we'll be sending tennis, and we only decided to send 1 team event, which will be volleyball, female. Netball, unfortunately, could not actually be accommodated. Football could not be accommodated, basketball could not be accommodated, and also judo with gymnastics. For various reasons, we are given a small quota because once you bring a very large number of athletes, the COVID-19 challenges could actually be an issue. So we strategize also by looking at where we've got opportunities of winning medals. Namibia, we are now transforming ourselves into athletics as a national code. It's not yet a national code, but we are transforming. So that's why there's no way we can leave athletics out of this game. So that is our really key factor that we look at, that we can be able to achieve medals in this area. We've got quite a number of challenges in terms of logistics. Some of our athletes, especially when we're doing registration, documentation, it's always a challenge in Namibia. Documents, you find that this document is not what is required. You have to try by all means, but we have actually managed to come across it, and it's water under the bridge currently now. Yes, the aspect that we are still fighting for to ensure that at least we honor all our obligations in terms of what are the needs that we need to acquire. I think that's what we are still working with our line ministry to ensure that at least we get the resources needed, because really you need money. Yeah, and we know the circumstances where we find ourselves is not so easy. So I think those challenges, we are sorting them out.
Muya also added that going into the games, some of the objectives set for the team is to better their rankings from the previous games that were held in Botswana.
It has been a very, very big challenge, yes, because you could see that contact sports only started very recently. Our intention was to have a training camp, which was already due in the month of August, but we could not have a training camp. But what we've indicated to ourselves now and also to the federation is for them, the coach, to start preparing athletes where they find themselves, because we cannot now bring them at one place because of the time span. But believe me, before the team leaves, that week before the team leaves, there will be those opportunities that we are also going to create for ourselves. We also want to move away from the previous, ranking that happened in 2018 in Gaborone. It was very, very good. We want to ensure that at least now we are a big force to be reckoned with when it comes to international participation. Obviously, the office, what we do now is the coaches, they actually help us in terms of, letting us know what's happening on the ground. But I think we are very strategic by nature. You can see most of them, they are individual sports codes. Could have been a challenge if they were team sports. Because if they were team sports, one would ask how do they prepare, because team must be together. But if you look at athletics, you can train, a coach can train an individual athlete because you are just running alone. Yeah. So in such case, it's very much manageable. But if it was team sports, it could be a challenge. But I'm happy with volleyball, because volleyball, you find that 5 of the volleyball players, they are in one region. So those ones, they are training together. Kavango is very, very good. Most of those girls are coming from Kavango region. And we've got one of the best coaches in volleyball currently now in the Kavango region. So that's why we're very strategic by nature, why we selected girls volleyball team, because we want to groom those girls that they can become elite athletes.
The games were originally scheduled for the 4th to the 13th of December 2020, but will now take place from the 3rd to the 12th of December 2021 in Maseru, Lesotho. And that is all we have for you tonight. Join us again tomorrow for Sports on One, and don't forget to follow us on our social media pages.
Thanks, Castro, for that update. Up next is the weather forecast.
A look at the weather forecast. Heat wave conditions will persist over the interior. Cooler air is expected in the south on Thursday. The Namibia interior partly cloudy and very hot in the northwest, central and southeastern parts, elsewhere sunny and very hot. The coast partly cloudy and mild but hot in the south, and the wind light northwesterly to fresh southwesterly. Now we look at minimum and maximum temperatures across the country and beyond.
We have come to the end of this evening's edition of Today on One. From me, Isai Sipunga, and the rest of the team, it's good night.
The International University of Management, a Namibian university dedicated to its people's future, a hub of abundant opportunities.
We are IUM for life. We are IUM.
Beautiful souls, this is Nikita Winkler and I am here to share easy tools for stretching that you can do just about anywhere. This is a demonstration, so what's most important is that you take the time in each position that your body needs to release its tension. In this session, we will stretch the hips. What you'll need are yoga blocks or books, thick books, or pillows, especially if you have tight hips. You can do this on a mat, on the floor, on a blanket, or even in your bed. Let's get started. So we're going to start on the floor with the soles of our feet together. I'm going to grab around the feet. This is a butterfly position. So in order to warm up the hips, I'm just going to flap the butterfly wings. And again, take your time. I'm going to lean forward, and here, again, if the hips are too tight, you can place your blocks, books, or pillows underneath. You might even feel a stretch in the back here. From this position, I'm going to take one arm right behind me, not too far from my body. The other arm, inhale, exhale, press the hip open. And come back to center. Change. One arm right behind me to lengthen the spine, the other hand on the knee. Inhale, exhale, press the hip open and back to center. Now we're going to lie down on the floor. And first, before I get started, I have to make sure that my body, my spine is in alignment. I'm going to just open up the neck area. And you can spend as much time as you need here, allowing the force of gravity to weigh on the legs to open up the hips. You can place your blocks, books, or pillows underneath the knees. And gradually, you can take the feet even further down and spend enough time in each position. From here, we're going to go into an internal hip rotation. I'm going to spread my feet to the side, lean the knees inwards. If you have a little bit more flexibility, you don't really feel the stretch, just take your feet even further apart to deepen this internal rotation stretch in your hips. From here, I'm just going to place my feet, and without repositioning the feet, I'm going to take my arms to the side, and then I'm just going to rock my legs side to side, keeping the upper body facing up, shoulders down. And then I'm going to stop on one side, take the lower leg over the upper to add weight to deepen the stretch. Release the leg and switch. Other side. lower over the upper, and back to center. Last part, I'm going to spread my legs as wide open as I can, and I'm going to just row the boat. So what's important here is that the knees don't lift off the floor. Make sure you row both sides. Keep the knees and both bum cheeks on the floor. Alternatively, you can just lean forward. You can hang out on the pillow. Take your time on the blocks or on your books. And that is it. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to breathe into your stretches and happy stretching.
Like a comma, the way you dance, man, bust up my head, you gon' cause every trauma. The way you dance, man, stop my speech like a comma, the way you dance, man, bust up my head, you gon' cause every trauma. The way you whine in the little ways, can I get little taste? Cause you fine with a pretty face, we got time, ain't no need to haste. The way you whine in the little ways, can I get little taste? Cause you fine with a pretty face, we got time, ain't no need to haste. Got that murderer, she killing me, got me acting stupid, tilling me. She done made the boy quine banana. Got that Nikki booty, she raised my anaconda. She whine slow, she dip low, like she dance to reggae and calypso. I can tell the head palm where your lips up, booty tighter than a bomb in my wrist lock. You will not believe, you will not believe that thing on her. She the baddest thing I done seen, baddest thing I done seen, wanna put it on. It's an emergency, someone please call 911, I'm at her emergency. Think my time on earth is done. Shake your bumper, move your bumper, give it to him. Shake your bumper, move your bumper. The way you whine in the little ways, can I get little taste? Cause you fine with a pretty face, we got time, ain't no need to haste. The way you whine in the little ways, can I get little taste? Cause you fine with a pretty face, we got time, ain't no need to haste.
Yeah, big ties, slim waist, big eyes with a clean face, body engineered, everything in place. Come close, let a man have a little taste. Young girl, but your butt on. You can carry the world with your backbone. Got my soldier at attention. Fear not, cause I booty on the young. Make me teardrop. The baddest in that area. Wish that I hollered at you earlier. The whole club gon' hear me now. Cause the way you dash it and turn me on. You a fly girl, turn me now. Yeah. The way you shake that turbulence. I wanna know your coordinates. So we can make this permanent.
The way you dance, man, stop my speech like a comma, the way you dance, man, bust up my head, you gon' cause every trauma. The way you dance, man, stop my speech like a comma, the way you dance, man, bust up my head, you gon' cause every trauma. The way you whine in the little ways, can I get little taste? Cause you fine with a pretty face, we got time, ain't no need to haste. The way you whine in the little ways, can I get little taste? Cause you fine with a pretty face, we got time, ain't no need to haste. Shake your bumper, move your bumper, give it to them. Shake your bumper, move your bumper.